Thanks for spending a few minutes watching this fourth episode of the 2013 Phone Wars series. Here, on My Next Appliance, we've been going over 2013 flagship phones from Apple, Google, Samsung, Nokia, and HTC. You can click the links below if you fell behind in the series, and please support the channel by subscribing with email notifications and Twitter for future updates. Now, let's go over the phone company the whole industry is watching out for, Motorola.
Wait, doesn't Google own Motorola?
The Motorola most of us know and recognize, yes. Looking back, Motorola is an American communications company that was in deep financial trouble. At one point, Sanjay Jha, the CEO, had split the company in two, Motorola Mobility and Motorola Solutions. Google bought Motorola Mobility, the consumer side of the business, for $12.5 billion. This gives Google the opportunity to not only affect software and services, but also, for the first time, influence hardware.
Why did Motorola sell its gadget business to Google?
Despite its success with the flip phone and original razr, since 2005, Motorola Mobility lost a ton of market share during the smartphone revolution. While it still did okay with cable modems and set-top boxes, Motorola stopped innovating. They couldn't keep up with Samsung, LG, and Apple's growth during the 3G era. From 2007 to 2009, Motorola lost $4.3 billion. Then, in late 2009, the company got its act together by throwing down the gauntlet with Android and the Motorola DROID brand of phones, a trademark license from Lucasfilms to Verizon Wireless. But while the R2-D2 droid developed personality over time with the Skywalker family, Motorola and Verizon were afraid to give up control of Droid phones. A lot of early phones had a locked-down bootloader.
Why is that a problem?
The appeal of the Android ecosystem is the ability to customize software and give it some personality. But Motorola and Verizon weren't having that. They installed a trigger in the hardware that would only allow the stock software to work on the phone.
It's against my programming.
So a lot of people were forced to live with bland bloatware and an under-optimized OS. Then in May 2012, CEO Larry Page merged Google with Motorola, replaced the CEO with a Google executive, cut 4,000 jobs, and got some valuable mobile patents to defend Android. Even though he promised to run Motorola as a separate business, with no advantages over other handset makers, we can already see HTC and Samsung hedging themselves by releasing flagship Windows Phone 8 devices. Then, a week before the iPhone 5 keynote, Motorola's new CEO, Dennis Woodside, introduced the DROID razr HD and the DROID razr HD Maxx.
And what's with the long names this year?
At first glance, these phones look identical to the 2011 DROID razr. And actually, this makes sense, since they were probably in development long before the Google buyout went through in mid-2012.
What makes the DROID razr HD different?
First, the battery. Marketed as the all-day phone, its large form factor gives it one of the biggest batteries for a flagship smartphone at 9.6 watt-hours. But when you first look at it, what will stand out most is the bigger and bolder 4.7-inch AMOLED display inside the same form factor as the 2011 DROID razr. This brings it more in line with the popular Galaxy S3 and One X. And at 1280 by 768, the resolution is a bit higher at 318 ppi. On the back, you'll notice the tough build quality. Motorola has been using DuPont's Kevlar material because of its resilience and low interference with wireless signals. It has an 8-megapixel camera that records 1080p video and a 1.3-megapixel front camera, standard features in all 2013 flagship phones. For ports, it has micro HDMI out and micro USB, and the larger battery definitely adds to the weight. On the inside, besides the standard sensors, it's running on a dual-core Snapdragon S4 Plus clocked at 1.5 GHz, supported by 1 GB of RAM. The storage is on the light side at 16 GB, but it does support micro SD expansion. For wireless, it should have dual-band Wi-Fi to go with Bluetooth 4.0 and LTE. While it ships with Android 4.0, Motorola promises a Jelly Bean update before the end of the year. The DROID razr HD Maxx is practically identical, except you get 32 GB of storage, a 12.54 watt-hour battery, and it weighs in at a hefty 157 grams. Because these devices are being released on Verizon's tightly controlled network, the subsidized devices will continue to be bootloader locked, but developers' editions will be available for the curious. For the courageous, hopefully hackers find a way to safely open up locked devices. The DROID razr HD is a solid device for people who really need long battery life and durable build quality. Support the channel by checking prices with the links below. Going forward, as Google begins to have more influence in future Motorola devices and hopefully put some pressure on wireless carriers like Verizon, I hope to see much more open and innovative devices. So watch out as Google gets to work on the next droids.
R2-D2 anyone?
Coming up in Phone Wars 2013, we're going to take a peek at a device update that merges tablets and smartphones together. So thanks subscribers for your support and input. I also plan to expand this channel into other devices you might be buying next. If you're a new viewer, please like, comment, share, and subscribe with email notifications to be a part of this growing channel where we try to stay a step ahead with gadgets and tech companies. You can also follow a Twitter account for news and good tech deals. And may the Force be with you.